We live in a world that moves so fast. It celebrates the hustle, it praises productivity, it worships busyness. But in all this noise, have we forgotten something important? Something quiet, something soft, something that once brought us joy, meaning, and magic. That is creativity. Creativity used to be something we did for the soul, for expression, for play, for no reason other than it made us feel alive. But somewhere along the road to adulthood, many of us lost it, or we buried it, or worse, we started creating not for ourselves, but to be seen, to be liked, to impress. So here's me telling the tale of staying creative, despite the noise we live in today. People often ask me, how do you stay creative with everything going on? And the truth is, I don't always. I have days when I feel numb, when I scroll more than I should, when I compare, when I overthink, when I forget what I even loved about creating. But I've also learned that creativity doesn't need perfect conditions. It doesn't need hours of free time. It doesn't need a studio or a plan. What it needs is presence. So here's what I do. I create before I consume. Even if it's just 10 minutes. A scribble in a notebook, a voice memo, a doodle. Something small, something mine. I give myself permission to make bad art, to write things no one will read, to sing off key, to be messy. Sometimes I take a walk early morning, no music, just the sound of my breath and my feet. That's when ideas come back. I romanticize the small things. A warm coffee in the morning, wearing my favorite dress, or seeing the face of my cat once I come back home from work. I really live for these moments. Creativity often whispers to you in quiet moments of life, and you have to make space to hear it. Somewhere along the way, we turned creativity into content. We started creating for numbers, for applause, for virality. We began measuring worth in likes and shares instead of how we feel when we make something. We forgot that creativity is sacred. It's not just about showing, it's about knowing ourselves. When you were a child, you didn't draw to build a portfolio. You didn't sing to become famous. You did it because it made you happy. It made you feel connected to something real, something deep. But now, we often stop ourselves before we even begin. What if it's not good enough? What if no one likes it? What's the point if it doesn't go viral? But here's the truth. You don't need the world's permission to be creative. You don't need their approval. You don't need to monetize every hobby. You are allowed to create just for you. You are allowed to write love letters that no one reads. You are allowed to paint a sky with the wrong colors. You are allowed to dance alone in your room and never post it, because that is real creativity. We've become addicted to productivity. We treat rest like a reward, not a right. We measure our days by output, not by what brings us peace of mind. We were taught to chase outcomes, that if we just worked hard enough, we'd earn happiness. Get the best grades, get into the best school, get the best job, buy the best things. But many of us followed that path and still feel hollow. It's like climbing a mountain only to find that the top doesn't have what you were looking for. Because the truth is, you can't hustle your way into creativity and joy. Success isn't wrong. Ambition isn't the enemy, but when you abandon your creative self just to keep achieving, you lose something sacred. You lose you. And this obsession comes at a cost, which results in burnout, disconnection, anxiety, creative drought. You see, the more we push ourselves to produce all the time, the more we lose touch with that soft, intuitive part of us that creates. Creativity needs room to breathe. It needs time to simmer, to wander. It needs space to rest and rest again. But we live in a world that doesn't honor stillness, so we have to reclaim it. We have to be brave enough to slow down, to choose moments that nourish us instead of drain us, to say no to things that cost too much of our spirit, to remember that doing nothing isn't laziness. It is required to be in connect with our human nature. Creativity isn't a luxury. It's not something reserved for artists or talented people. It's a birthright. It's human. It's healing. It's how we process the world. It's how we connect with our emotions. It's how we make sense of what we're feeling but can't say. Every time you pick up your guitar and strum random chords, every time you journal your thoughts instead of bottling them up, you're sending a message to your inner child. I still see you. I haven't forgotten you. And in those moments, even for a few minutes, something unlocks. You feel present again. You feel alive. So how do you reconnect with creativity? Start small. Start with what you used to love. That thing you dropped when adulting took over. Maybe it was painting. Or cooking just for the joy of it. Maybe it was photography, playing the piano, or DIY crafts. Give yourself the permission to fail. The goal isn't to be good. The goal is to feel, to wonder. You'll be surprised what opens up when you do. When we allow ourselves to create simply for the joy of creating, we start to heal. We start to fill that void we've been trying to patch up with busyness and burnout. By giving yourself permission to create, you start a gentle revolution against a world that tells you to be hard, fast, and numb. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, lost, or empty, don't reach for your phone. Don't chase another goal. Instead, return to yourself. Ask, what did I love doing as a child? What makes me feel wonder? Then go do it. So please, keep creating, not for followers, not for money, but for yourself. For the version of you that still believes in magic.